Oh, hey. Alright, sorry, I was just checking out, the stash I'm growing. For the record, I fucking hate mustaches. They're not my thing. But I have a straight friend who, thinks it looks good on me, and, wanted me to grow it out. I accidentally shaved it off. I was supposed to have it grown out for our, little Friendsgiving get-together. We call it Friendsgiving because it was a day after Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving is a horrible holiday in general. Anyway, beside the point, I'm getting off topic. The stash that I'm growing gave me the idea for the topic I have for this show, and I've decided that the topic is going to be my first experience with porn. Now, it's been a while. I'm 28 years old now, and I think my earliest recollection with porn might have been around 10 years old, I'm thinking, maybe 9 years old, 9 to 10 years old, something like that. And wasn't the first time I seen anyone naked or boobs or anything, but it was the first time I experienced pornography in some sense. So as accurately as I can relay my earliest encounter with porn is going to be the topic for this discussion. Okay. By the way, this is according to Cato. I had an episode before this. It didn't get too many views, and it wasn't really an episode. It was just some bullshit audio-only interview with Alvin the Chipmunk that I threw together just to throw something up on my YouTube site because I'd talked about getting a video out, and it had been a couple of, like a week or two, and I hadn't done anything yet, so I just made that to put something on the site, get things going. Now, this is probably... Alright, this is actually my first official, according to Cato, video. Alright, let's jump into it. Let's see. I think I was about, well, let me go ahead, well, before my first encounter with actual porn, and let's say my earliest encounter with breasts. Alright, aside from accidentally seeing family members naked, which is, horrifying once you're old enough to realize that you're grossed out by that, I think my earliest encounter was with a movie that a lot of people have probably seen, Roadhouse. Yeah, the scene where that blonde chick in the pink dress is stripping inside the club. That was a great scene to see. And when you're a kid, it's very impressionable. I didn't know a whole lot about boobs, but when I seen those, I knew I wanted some. I knew I wanted boobs. I didn't know why, but I'm like, yeah, I'll have those. It's like the first time you see the Nintendo 64 when you're a kid. You're like, hell yeah, I want a Nintendo 64. Why wouldn't I want one? Alright, so that was my first experience with breasts. I seen those, and I thought those were incredible, and I wanted them. I didn't know what you're supposed to do with those things, but I knew I wanted them. It's hazy because, I mean, I never really thought about this kind of stuff when I was little, so I didn't have a thought process or a conclusion deducing how I thought of this type of thing, so I can't really walk you through what I was thinking, but I knew I liked them. I think one of my next nearest experiences was with the Howard Stern Private Parts movie that I'd seen a few years after that, which I think I was probably about 6 or 7 for. Or maybe 8. It was somewhere between 6 and 8 when I seen that. I don't know, I'd have to do the math. I can't remember exactly what year it came out. I think it was like 95, maybe 93. I don't know. It was in the 90s, early 90s, I think. And I remember seeing the chick sitting on top of the subwoofer, and orgasming, and I remember seeing the chick in the radio show who was stripping, and I thought that was pretty cool because, you know, again, boobs were awesome, especially when you're little. When you're little and you first realize that girls aren't just gross, but older, developed girls are hot, then you're like, oh yeah, boobs are awesome. I like boobs now. I guess older girls that are developed are not icky because they have those things. That's kind of where your mind's at when you're at that when you're at that age. Or maybe I was just perverted at a young age. I don't know. I'm imagining most kids were probably like that who experienced that same type of material. All right. My first actual encounter with pornography was, I think it was Playboy magazine. I can't even remember what issue it was. It doesn't matter. I remember seeing probably about 3 different girls that had like somewhere between 4 to 6 pages where they're like clothed a little bit, and then their breasts are exposed some, and you see and then there's like one where she's like laying on her stomach, so you see her butt a little bit. But the Playboy's always been kind of classier. It's not really hardcore, so you don't see a lot. You just kind of see clothes off in like seductive poses, but not really anything above softcore. And you don't even really see the vagina. You like sometimes you see bush. Or you see the bush area, but you don't see just to make fun of it. I'm gonna call it the vajayjay. All right, you don't see the vajayjay, so you have no idea what's down there. You see pubic hair and you see legs, and that's about it. Maybe there's more hardcore images in Playboy magazines. I haven't looked at a lot of Playboys because I mean after I discovered porn, I went to the stuff that showed more than just that. So, but of the Playboys that I remember seeing, they didn't really get that hardcore. I think after the Playboy, I think my next encounter with pornography was a Hustler magazine that I had found, and I'm gonna say found. I didn't acquire it by any illegal means. I don't know if you can acquire porn illegally, but like I found it. I can't remember exactly how I found it, but I do remember that it wasn't in anyone else's possession when I found it. Anyway, at this point, I was probably 10 or 11 years old. I didn't really know what sex was or how you have sex at that age. And in this magazine, I don't remember there being any guys in it, but I do remember there was a couple different image sets that were with girls. They were girl on girl, and it followed a pretty specific pattern. There was I don't even remember exactly what the themes were. I think there was one where they were wearing like leathery chain like bondage stuff, and then there's another one where it was swimsuits, and then there's another one where it was like lingerie stuff. But in both of them, they were like supermodel shaped like girls, and I think that it was big hair at the time. I can't exactly remember. I wasn't looking at the hair. Anyway, this was the formula. Alright, for the first image, like, the 2 girls are just kind of like, they're clothed and they see each other and they're like, hey, like the first image is them having that eye contact with their mouth kind of open, like, let's do that sex thing that girls do together, and the other one's like, yeah, I'm into that, and then the next frame is like one of them's like taking the other one's bra off or something like that, and then she's like biting, like then there's like a little frame where she's like biting the other girl's nipple or nibbling on it a little bit, and then the next picture, the other girl's doing it back to her with her tits out now, and after that, like, now we're on to like probably the 3rd page, and they're both fully naked at this point, and now one of them is laying back with her legs spread a bit, and it's still not really close up, but now it was like the first time I seen the the vajayjay in any form. So she's laying down, and I see she's got like a runway cut down there, and below that I mean, from what I remember, it was like a little hill with a sideways mouth on it. It looked like it was fucking Homer Simpson's mouth between her legs, sideways. And I was looking at it, and I was like, huh. So that's what that is. So that's what's down there. I mean, I I remembered from like movies as a kid, like when a little boy kicked a girl in the crotch area, it didn't do anything, and I knew that wasn't the case for us guys. You kick us between the legs and it dropped us. But I always wondered, well, I guess they don't have balls or a dick, so what do they have down there? So and now I'm seeing this, I'm like, huh, they have fucking Homer Simpson's mouth down there between their legs. Well, now I have, like, no fucking idea how sex works at all, because at some point I had seen a reference to a donut and a hot dog, and one going into the other, and that was like, and I didn't know what sex was at the time, but I understood that it was a sexual innuendo. It was something explaining how sex worked, and I'm like, so there's like a front butt on them. This is my thought process as a young kid. I'm like, they got a front butt, and that's where we stick our wieners. I'm guessing that's what it was. So now I'm seeing fucking Homer Simpson's mouth. It doesn't look like a hole. It just looks like sideways lips. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I have no idea what to do with this now. And then I started thinking, like, weird shit, like, okay, so my penis is a hot dog in hot dog references, so is this, like, lip-shaped thing a bun? Am I supposed to go at it sideways or something? I don't know. And I have no clue and no reference in this magazine, because it was all girl on girl at the time. And they didn't open each other up. You didn't get a good look at what was really down there. Like in the pictures where they're going down on each other, like you see one girl like sticking her tongue out, like almost touching it, and then when they switch it up, the other girl does the same thing, and like in one of the frames, there's like a little bit of saliva connecting the end of her tongue to the girl's vagina, like insinuating that she did lick it, but like you don't see the picture where she is licking it, so for all you know, I mean, between pictures, the camera guy came over there with a little miniature fucking turkey baster and put a line of saliva connecting her tongue to her vagina so she didn't actually have to lick the damn thing, but a picture with her licking it might have helped, so we have some inclination to the technique or what we need to do down there, and that's probably why most guys, before they have sex, have no fucking idea what they're doing down there, because they don't know. They're like, what the fuck is this? You're trying to open a safe with your mouth, and you don't even know if you're supposed to start turning right or left before you start, you know? So, I seen this, and I'm like, huh. Well, I guess, I mean, are they sexing? Can two girls have sex? I assumed since they're both naked, they're doing sex like shit. So I'm wondering, is sex the same between a guy and a girl as it is a guy and, two girls? So I wasn't quite sure. I didn't think it was actually sex. And then I seen a picture where they were scissoring in, this was actually in a different girl-on-girl image set that was later in the magazine, and I thought, well, what the shit's going on there? Are they just kind of like pushing them against each other? Are those sideways fucking Homer mouths down there kissing? Is that what they're doing? Are there fucking Homer mouths making out? Is that how that shit works when it's a girl-on-girl? So didn't understand what that was. They weren't fucking motion pictures, so you didn't really get the impression that they were grinding, because they were there was no blur in the camera like they were moving or anything. It was just like they were, pressing their vajayjays together. So I had no fucking idea whatsoever was going on down there. Now, let's see. A little while later, I came across another magazine, and I think this one was given to me by an uncle, and it wasn't a Hustler, it wasn't a Playboy. This was like one of those lesser known, more specific type of magazine. This one focused on big hooters. Now, this one was also kind of softcore as far as porn goes. It was mostly just larger, bustier women doing solo poses, and sometimes they were like giving a dildo a blowjob or something like that. It wasn't anything hardcore, but there was one lesbian scene between two bustier girls that was in it, and in this lesbian scene, like the girl had the dildo. And now I'm thinking, okay, now maybe I'm learning something here, because I realized that the dildo is a substitute for the male penis. Now I wasn't really sure what the male penis was supposed to do down there, but I'm thinking that I'm going to get an idea of what it is. Now in the image, the girl is like using the the dildo and kind of like rubbing it between the girl's legs to stimulate her, but they don't go any further with it. So I'm sitting there thinking, so that's probably what sex is. Okay. I guess it's just when, you take your penis and you just fucking rub it up and down the lips. Well, that makes sense, I guess. Sex is fucking weird, but I'm guessing that's what sex is at this point. Well, later when I got to the back of the magazine, they had something different in it that wasn't in the Playboy or the Hustler magazines that I remember seeing. In the back of the magazine, now you might have seen this if you had any encounter with pornography magazines, there were ads for movies and other pornography material, and this stuff was noticeably more hardcore. And I immediately realized that it was a lot more hardcore because, like, the pictures were real small. They were you could still kind of see what was going on in it, but like whatever the action part in the picture was, there was like a big black circle over wherever it was taking place, so you couldn't see what was fucking happening. So I was seeing stuff like I seen what appeared to be like a butt, like someone bent over in a butt, and then someone on top of that butt bent over, and it was both fucking like and there's this big fucking circle covering the private area and the butts, so you couldn't really see what was going on. I mean, to me, it looked like a fucking game of naked fucking leapfrog. I didn't know what was going on. I had at some point realized that Twister could be used as a sex game or something, so I assumed, like, what are they playing, Naked Leapfrog? That's a weird video. I'd probably watch it, but I was like, what the fuck's going on there? Then I seen, like, this little image where there was, like, it was a devil's three-way going on, but there's this big fucking circle around the girl's butt and a big fucking circle around the girl's mouth. Now, in this picture, I realized that his penis had to be going into her mouth. Like, it was either super fucking small or it was going into her mouth. And I seen that and I'm like, that'd probably be pretty cool. I mean, if that's how sexing works, I wouldn't have to listen to her talk when I'm putting it in. Okay, I'm just making that up. I didn't think that at that age. But I seen that, and I'm like, well, that seems neat. And there's 3 people in this. I'm like, you can do that? This can be a group activity? And the guy behind him, like, I since the black circle was there, I had no idea what he was doing. So I assumed that his dick was, like, going between her legs. And since I thought that, like, dick rubbing against a vagina was what sex probably was, from the only evidence that I had so far, I assumed that he was just, like, fucking grinding it up against her between her legs. And I was like, that's a pretty cool move. I could probably do that one. And let's see, there's another picture, and this one really fucking confused me because it's like a guy's waist from the waist down, and then this girl, which was like down on her knees facing him, and there's this big black circle between his dick and her face, but it wasn't close enough for his dick to be in her mouth, and there was like liquid bouncing off of her face all over the fucking place. So I seen that and I'm like, what the fuck's going on there? Now I couldn't see his he had a hand in that region too, which was probably, in retrospect, it was probably holding his fucking dick, but at the time, I thought, well, like, maybe she's, like, opening her mouth, and he's got, like, a water gun, like a little fucking water gun, he's shooting her in the face, like, haha, bitch, you're not sucking my dick, I'm actually shooting you in the face. I'm like, haha, that's funny, that's a prank, right? No, in retrospect, wasn't holding the fucking water gun, he's pissing all over her face. That's a weird fucking little clip when you have no idea what sex is, and that's something that you're seeing. You're trying to deduce what's going on in this image. Probably a good thing they censored it, because that would fucking ruin a kid if you seen shit like that, and you had no fucking idea what sex is, and now you're thinking that this is probably something that goes on in sex, and you're like, so you're supposed to fucking piss on their face. That's probably where R. Kelly got the idea and got into that. I don't know. Later on, I encountered my first actual porn video. Now, this was the first time that I'd actually seen sex. So this opened my eyes a lot more. Alright, my first porn video, now this was later on, I think it was 1995 or 6, something like that. The porn video was called Buffy Down Under, and it starred this busty blonde chick. And with the name Buffy Down Under, I thought it was like a buddy of mine gave me the video so I could watch it. And when I seen the name Buffy, the only time I'd ever heard the name Buffy before was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That was a movie I remember seeing when I was a kid growing up. So I thought, oh, and it's a naughty video. So I was thinking in my head, okay, it's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and she's probably going to be, slaying vampires with her vagina. I didn't understand that at the time Down Under was a reference to Australia. Even though I'd seen Crocodile Dundee, and that was probably the first time I had heard Down Under. I was a kid, I didn't make the connection at the time. Well, as I started watching, it was a VHS, I started watching it wherever the fucking video was already at. I didn't think to rewind it. Well, anyway, when I put it in, it's not even on a fucking normal sex scene. It's, this girl, she's knocking on a wall, and there's a little fucking hole in the wall, and she starts talking to this guy, and they're speaking in Australian, so I can only kind of understand it. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, the second I try and figure out what's going on in the story, I already quit paying attention to what they're saying, because suddenly, this dude on the other side of this wall puts his dick through the hole. And I'm like, holy shit, there's a fucking hole, and he's sticking his dick through it, and, like, it's right there in her face. I'm like, well, damn, you could go around the fucking wall and get in that room with her. It'd be easier for you. But no, he was content, like, being there with his dick through the wall. So she put his mouth on the dick, and this was the first time I had seen this uncensored. And I was like, huh, that looks pretty good. So then she starts sucking his dick and moving her head back and forth on his dick. And I see this, and I'm like, you know what? That makes more sense. I'd figured out masturbating by about, I think probably about, I'm guesstimating. I'm thinking about 10 years old, and this was a little bit later on. So when I seen her doing this, I was thinking, oh yeah, well that would feel a lot better than my hand doing that. I realized that the blowjob that I don't even know if I knew that's what it was at the time, but I realized that the blowjob she was giving him probably felt pretty, like, similar, but way better than jacking yourself off. And I was like, huh, that's pretty fucking cool. I like that. I want to try that. To this day, I want to stick my dick through a hole and get it sucked. Just saying. Anyway, after I seen this, I was like, that's pretty fucking cool. So then, he came in her mouth, and she's, like, licking it and sucking it up, and I'm like, well, damn, that's pretty hot. I didn't even know they would do that. I figured they'd spit that part out. Oh, yeah. Fuck. Anyway, I seen that scene, and I was like, huh, well, that's, I guess that's what fucking, wait, no, that didn't have any, like, dick rubbing on her crotch, either. So, I wasn't sure if that was sex or just like some sort of sex act, but I seen it, I liked it, thought that was cool. Now the next scene, fucking finally, the first time I actually seen what sex fucking was. It was the same girl and same guy evidently, and this time he was fucking sticking into her vagina, and I was like, holy shit, he just stuck his dick in fucking Homer's mouth. And it was like, well, okay, I guess between those lips, there's a fucking hole in there. And by the grace of God, and I'm kidding about that, I'm an atheist, but by the grace of fucking whoever, he actually went down on her, so finally I'm sitting here, like, studying it, taking notes, trying to figure out what the hell is going on, and it was at this time I realized, okay, I'm actually seeing what fucking sex was. And it's probably a good thing that I encountered this kind of material before ever getting into a situation where I would have sex, just so I had some fucking idea of what I was doing. So I realized that going down on her was something that helped her get excited. And then I realized that sticking your dick into the vagina and not just sitting there fucking rubbing it up and down was the thing to do. I mean, imagine if I had never seen a sex act other than what I thought I'd figured out from the fucking magazines, and the first time I go to have sex with a girl, like, she's waiting for me to put it in, and I'm getting it hard, and suddenly I'm just sitting there rubbing my dick up and down her Homer's lips, up and down, and I'm like, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm fucking having sex with you, bitch." Oh my god. Well, alright, I think that's most of my earliest recollection with my encounters with pornography. And, yeah, I don't think I fucking have anything else to say on the subject. Now, obviously, I've seen more pornography since then, and my knowledge of sex in general has vastly surpassed what it used to be. I'm very familiar with porn. I wouldn't say I'm like a fucking kung fu grandmaster of porn, but probably, like, if I had to put it at a level, I'm probably that Ronin samurai that nobody knows that, like, shows up in a town and, like, 3 guys confront him and suddenly those 3 guys are dead and he just walks out of town without saying anything. I'm that level of porn. Like, I'm pretty good with my porn. Not fucking Grandmaster Poobah, but probably, like, you know, pretty skilled samurai warrior. That is my level of porn knowledge. And you know what? It is this sort of shit, from thinking back on my earliest encounters with porn, which lead me to believe that sex ed is really something that they should teach, like, maybe even like last year of junior high, first year of high school, but probably last year of junior high. I mean, that's fucking, what, 12, 13-ish? I mean, kids are already fucking experimenting around at that age anyway, and not that I think they should, but they should have some fucking idea of what's going on before they try anything. So I'm for sex education, bottom line, because this is how I imagine some people grow up and they're into, like, 2 girls in a cup shit, or pissing on somebody, or shitting on somebody, because they seen something really fucking weird as a kid, and they never really understood what sex was. And, I mean, as you get older and you find yourself attracted to people, you get aroused, and you're looking for something to be aroused by and associate with sex, and you have no fucking idea what it is, so you remember this weird fucking shit that might not even be sex, and you're like, okay, that's what sex is. So then you spend your youth thinking, okay, this weird shit that I seen and didn't really know what it was, I thought was sex, and now when you find out what sex is, you're not even aroused by sex, because you're aroused by some weird fucking shit you seen in your uncle's magazine that you probably shouldn't have seen without some sort of fucking explanation of what the shit it was you were looking at. Alright, hope you enjoyed this video for my first encounter with pornography, and stay tuned, because I have no fucking idea what I'm going to talk about next time. I'm out.